Welcome to this episode of From Grassroots to Greatness, the journey to the top. Bruce Oliver is your host as he interviews movers and shakers inside the world of soccer success.
Joining us today on From Grassroots to Greatness is Louis Swisher, the U18 head coach for St. Louis City Soccer Club, a former Guatemalan international with 23 caps and trailblazer in European football. Louis now brings his elite playing experience and academic background from the ESI School of Management to the next generation of talent. Louis, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bruce. It's a pleasure being in your space and happy to talk about football.
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about your background, where you've come from, and how we can help some of the people in the next generation of soccer players.
Born and raised in Guatemala, played professionally there for 16 years. Have a small stint in Europe, 2 years playing in Poland, play for the national team in all the youth levels and then play over 10 years span. And then transition to head coach. I've been a head coach for now almost 16 years. Yeah, extended career, multiple teams, most of my career here in the US, being with multiple clubs and especially in the different leagues, being able to coach all the leagues. The only one I'm missing is the pro level. But yeah, actually working for an MLS club here in San Luis, and yeah, happy of my journey.
Very good. Well, there are a couple of questions I have for you. And the first one is closing the gap question. Louis, you've seen countless talented players enter the academy system. In your expertise and experience, what is the single biggest difference in daily habits between players who eventually sign up the contract and those who remain just talented amateurs?
Well, the difference is over the years, I think the common denominator is the growth mindset. I mean, everyone has abilities. Obviously, your abilities will dictate where you start, where you're gonna be placed, where you're gonna have that starting point of the path. What it takes you to different levels is the consistency of your abilities and extended the growth in the time that of your timeline of your pathway. But what it makes the difference is the growth mindset. How do you keep maintaining um, to accomplish what you want as a player? I've seen over the years, players that they're high abilities, low growth mindset, don't make it. Have players a lot of big growth mindset, mid abilities, and they'll make it. Now, obviously, the optimal is having both, right? But yeah, that's the one that will take you to the differentiator and take you to the next level. I was a byproduct of that. I was okay abilities, but I guess not only as a player, as a coach, being able to move another country, I could be easily back home and probably doing the same. But I wanted to be in a better with more resources and more opportunities to grow. And so yeah, I think the difference is the mindset. So the growth mindset, that's the difference.
Developing the soccer IQ. Many young players focus entirely on their physical skills or speed. For an aspiring pro, how important is game intelligence? And what one specific way can a player train their brain to see the field like a professional while they are still in their teens?
I mean, yeah, definitely is I would say the middle point, the decision making. Life is made of a lot of making decisions, even for us as coaches, right? We have to make the best decisions. So the understanding of what we need to do as a player, it is important. So I can decide, I mean, what I'm going to choose and how I'm going to do it is super important. I mean, most of people focus most of the time on the execution of things because that's what we see. But at the end, it's not as important of which is the gaming inside that you refer to as a game intelligence. You need to be able to understand the game. You need to be able to find solutions to those problems. The game is so complex that gives you so much chaos and so much complexity, where you are in a field with not only with 11 players but also 10 more players helping you to accomplish an objective that is score goals, and that's complex. That's a lot of connections, a lot of relationships on the field. So the more you understand from your own, let's say, individual, your game insight develops, the better it is to understand and have a better relationship and communication with your teammates and your peers. So that helps you to solve more decisions. So the more you develop that area, the better it is. I think people says is the ABC is the technique, is the what you do. The technique is execution of a decision, and that's not the A, that's the C, right? We start the other way around. First, you need to understand the what in order to be able to execute. So if you don't understand what I need to do I pass here or do I dribble or do I pass here? So it's in a fragment of a second. You have to make two, three choices. So people start the other way around. If you cannot make that, they start thinking that is the other way around. No, it's first you need to understand what to do, and then it's how you're going to do it and how you're going to execute it becomes irrelevant. So you have, if you go the other way around, yes, you can become a master of executing things, but with no context on the top, with no game insight, not understanding the game doesn't help you. So it's the other way around. So I think it is, like I said, it's a middle that you have to understand. The more we develop the game inside of players will help them to make better decisions. It's the same as us. I can execute pretty well, but I don't understand what I need to do, then it doesn't matter. So,
Very
so yeah, for me, it's super important. And knowing the what I need to do in order to make a decision. Yeah.
well. Then you talk about navigating the mental grids. Path to pros is rarely a straight line, as you're well aware, and usually involves getting cut or benched at some point. What is your advice to a young athlete for maintaining their confidence during these inevitable periods of time where they're down and they're in a high pressure environment?
Well, I mean, the high performance, obviously, high level environments are demanding, right?
Yes.
I think that's why it's important in the early stages to have the love of the game, have the passion for the game, because once you develop the love of the game, when you get to a high performance environment where it's so demanding and it's so also uh, built of a lot of adversity, because there's a lot of competition, and that could bring some trigger some a lot of emotions, frustration, when adversity comes into those environments. So I think having the love of the passion of the game, it gives you to navigate a little bit of, okay, already I have it. So you're able to focus and navigating through the emotions of self-regulating yourself in adversity. Now, the high performance environments are tough. Why that's why they're built, and it's our choice to be on it, right? So if we're not on it, it's okay. It's not that you can handle it. So there's nothing wrong with that. So, but that's the nature of the sport. That's the nature of anything that it is on a high competition. Will come into a lot of structure, a lot of adversity, a lot of other things that you can't control. So the best way to control it is controlling yourself, and it's about being able to, like I said, connected to the growth mindset, to able to have a good attitude towards adversity, when things are not going my way. Do I have the best approach to learning capacity as well? Am I able to learn? Am I able, when things don't go my way, am I able to learn and reflect from that information that allows me to improve? At the end, we improve by collecting feedback, by collecting, what the things that we're not good at, and what are the things that maybe didn't go the way that we wanted. So it's about reflecting, applying the feedback, and then go again. I think what maintains the players into that level of frustration is being able to be able to self-regulate. But yes, we understand that at younger ages, in your teens, it's hard to absorb all that and be able to have the matureness to be able um, to deal with that adversity and resilience. So we have to help the players. I mean, and we guide the players through those moments of adversity to be able to digest it and be able to understand that that's part of the process.
Sure.
Yeah, my biggest advice is always having the positive attitude, is about having the growth mindset, being able to it's okay to do mistakes. What is not okay is not be able to apply what I did wrong and being able to apply it in the other way. Because at the end, that's what it is, the sport about, and those environments as well. So yes, we as coaches, we have to help them and guide them through how to navigate through those things. But yeah, the biggest advice is having willing to understand, knowing themselves, and being able to have good attitude, good growth mindset, being able to get through adversity by applying the feedback that gets provided, and go again and execute again. And yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing.
The biggest thing is not everything lasts forever.
Exactly. Everything that goes up always goes down. And
Can go
everything
down
that
too.
stays down sometime could go up because there's a lot of roof. So yeah. So
True.
not nothing is,
Very
I
true.
don't think nothing is linear. It's linear at some point, but then it becomes kind of changes over time. At the end is
Absolutely.
ourselves to maintain it in the most positive way and all the direction that we want, right? But yeah,
Yeah. Well, at
losing
St.
as well
Louis
is part of the
City
game.
Soccer Club, you're building a specific culture. If a scout is watching a match and doesn't look at the scoreboard, what are the intangible traits that the player does off the ball after a mistake that make you say, that's a player we need in our system?
Always, how do you respond, right? How do you respond
Mm-hmm.
for good actions and for not good actions, right? So when you do a good action, how do you maintain that action? um because the abilities, like I said, the abilities, we can see it, what you execute, what you think, we can see it. So the behaviors help to understand a little bit for coaches the things that with the intangibles, because it's hard to see. And so if I'm looking, if a player has a growth mindset, I have to see after an adversity, after a mistake, how immediately he responds, how much he delayed to respond, how much though he makes an impact to that response.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so that's basically your behavior, your attitude towards the little nuggets of what are you doing off as well while you're not participating in the situation. What are you doing? Are you able to read and be able to understand how do you prepare for the next action? So on the ball is how do you respond. Off the ball is how you immediately ready to know what you're gonna do after with your the information of you're sending with your behavior, because that's all we can see.
You've been listening to From Grassroots to Greatness, the journey to the top. Please like, follow, and share. Until next time, cheers from Bruce Oliver, soccer agent and co owner of Carrick Rangers Football Club in Northern Ireland.